Alright then. Quick transition into gameplay. I did say in the title that I did some grinding, and that's technically true. I spent about an hour, and I gained 4 levels, and then I got bored. So, we'll see how well this amount of grinding did. Well, 4 levels on Honnet. Everyone else went up, like Ophelia and Tressa specifically, who were the 2 incredibly underleveled ones, went up. Or they were around mid to early 20s, and now they're in their 30s, so a decent amount better. Also, everyone's status is decent. Ophelia could use a little pick-me-up, though. Hello, Pyromancer. Ah! Yes, alright, we've already seen this cutscene. Yes. Big poisonous tiger, lion, snake. Somewhat similar to a Nue, I suppose.
What next?
What was this thing weak to again? Oh dear. I think it was spears. I think I remember it being spears. Yes.
Interesting dilemma.
Spears are a common beast hunting tool, after all.
A great inferno to scorch the land.
I'll not be defeated.
Alright. I'm fairly certain it wasn't axes. I mean, I'll just experiment with ice.
There!
No. Unfortunately,
It's my turn now.
no go. Oh. I could have sworn it was going first previously.
What next?
I didn't want that to happen. I would have very much preferred it that she only hit once. I suppose in order to prompt that in future, I'm going to need to use Spearhead if I want her to only attack once. Alright, that's fine. One of the other things I did was work around with... what are they called? Support skills? Secondary skills? Something like that. Alright, well. Rat King, go.
I'll do my best.
Good amount of damage. But both Cirrus and Ophelia now have... yes. They both have a specific skill that allows them to be overhealed.
Let your wounds be healed.
Which is good because they both have the lowest HP and are incredibly necessary. Alright. What was the other weakness? It was bow, right? Yes, okay.
What is the logical course of action?
Right, because Honnet's multi-shot is extremely useful in this setting, I remember that. Do I waste a turn to analyze? It's not gonna hurt me too much in the long run.
Much to learn.
46k, alright. Oh, and the final weakness is light as well. That's good to know. Yep, as expected.
What next?
No poison, though. That's a bit of a surprise.
I'll do my best.
Oh, I feel like Rain of Arrows is definitely going to be one of the only things that keeps me alive.
Bring about a miracle of healing.
Yeah, you're not looking too well off right now, huh? You know what? I feel like I should probably actually change Tressa into a hunter. Because her dancer skills aren't exceptionally useful right now. And if I have a second person who has Rain of Arrows, that might be exceptionally useful. Something to consider, I suppose. For now, just give some of your BP away to Honnet. Alright. I guess I'll just keep throwing firestorms at this one. Chip away its armor ever so slowly.
Let's do this.
Alright, yeah. Breaking the armor with you
Here I go.
will allow me
Oh, say
even
that.
more damage with everyone else.
Letting my arrow fly and true. Aiming carefully, shooting true.
Alright. I have to deal 46k damage. Alright. I remember we actually found out that Firestorm will do more damage than the single target attack.
Scorch the land.
Did we find that out? Yes, because that was 60k. And single target does around 4 to 5. Or not 6D, 6k. 60k would kill this thing outright. Definitely wouldn't mind that. Go right on ahead. Now then...
I shall pierce him with
Hello there.
Hello there, Aaron. I hope you're doing well.
Go.
Okay. Ophelia should probably heal after all of this is done. Which means
Peacock strut.
I can give Cirrus a magic boost.
Now, what next? A great inferno to scorch the land.
I'll do my best.
Oh, it just feels really odd using Cirrus's AoE attack to deal more damage than his single target. It does cost almost 3 times the mana, so I suppose it makes sense. Just feels a bit odd.
Bring about a miracle of healing.
Alright. Yes, no problem whatsoever about missing live streams.
rain and arrows up.
Oh, Honnet. I need you to be a bit more accurate than that, my dear.
It's my turn now. I won't hold back. I'll not be defeated.
I'm doing well considering the situation. Alright. The situation, of course, being
You'll be all right now.
the graduation of Kiryu Koko.
What next?
Not the happiest about that,
A miracle like no other.
but it happened, so
Yes.
that's all there really is to it at this point.
If thou darest.
Alright. Honnet, you'd better land
Rain
this.
and arrows up on them.
Kiryu Koko, one of the premier members of Hololive. She was probably the person who brought English-speaking VTubers into the limelight. Because despite being a member of
You'll be
Hololive Japan, she speaks fluent English.
Wow.
Wow. Yes. I didn't actually watch too much of her myself. But I'm definitely, at the very least, a fan of what she represented in Hololive and, you know, the community in general. So it is a sad occasion, but nothing that can be avoided. I am wondering what she's planning on doing from here on out. Oh, this is interesting. Ah! This is how you get an AoE dagger attack. You hire a dancer to do it for you. Interesting. That must be a pretty good soldier for 30k. Well, she's a pretty influential figure in the community, so...
For you.
Letting the hunt begin.
Things happen. I do very much wonder what she's actually planning. 'Cause what could she be moving on to from this?
I'll not be defeated.
This has to be something good, right?
Let your wounds be healed. Here I go.
And it's sort of taboo to talk about this, but she does do... Like, she has an IRL account that is still active. So she isn't gone 100%. I don't remember the name of it. But she has an active IRL account that she does stream on. Not frequently, mind you. The last time she streamed was around 7 months ago. But a little while back, she did one stream. So I suppose that channel will be something to keep an eye on in the future. Just out of idle interest. Yeah. But she was doing all of her activity as Kiryu Koko, rather than, you know, the other persona that she had going there.
It's my turn now.
Okay, so it said the beast poison extends to your SP and BP. Does that mean that it will only affect them when poisoned? Or are we just going to constantly be hemorrhaging those? Also... Yeah, only when poisoned. I assumed so. Because otherwise... I have no idea how that would function.
Well then.
Oh, you know what? I got this guy specifically for this fight. Well, I might as well use him.
A great inferno to scorch the land.
I hope its armor plates cap out sometime soon. It's starting to get pretty difficult to, actually deal any damage to this guy.
An interesting dilemma. My focus is on a great inferno to scorch the land.
Let's do this.
I have not been keeping attention or keeping track of how much HP it should have by now.
Peacock strike.
But hopefully it's low,
I'll prepare yourself.
because I am afraid of this poisonous aura.
Oh, sacred light.
Good job, villager.
Ah! I still
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh no.
Let's see, let's see. Okay, it's actually going very late. Which means... What was it? Rest? Yeah, cures status ailments.
Time for a break.
Letting my arrow fly and true.
Alright. Okay, I actually need to do some math here. Yeah, it's pretty serious. It's pretty serious that Cirrus is dead. Aha. Okay, so if I use Honnet to revive Cirrus right now, I'll get 1 armor off, so I'll be down to 9. And then I can go down to 8. And then down to 6 if Cirrus is up before the tiger. But I really want to cure Ophelia's poison. Okay, this is pretty tricky. Alright, Honnet. I'm just gonna fly by the seat of my pants. That's all I know to do. You get a medium olive.
Using this.
Thank goodness he can overheal now. Alright. No, it's an apothecary skill. Rehabilitate yourself?
You'll be all right now.
Oh, and he's going to do a spear damage as well. Oh! Oh! Okay. The good thing I got Cirrus back up. Oh. Out of all of the party members to kill the boss, it was the villager. Good job, villager. Oh my goodness. Well, I found the treasure, I suppose. Oh, this is the spot Balthazar marked on his map.
Wow.
Oh, nice echo effect. Wow, it's gorgeous! I need to get back into the accent.
Oh?
Oh, and what's this? A letter?
Yeah.
Addressed to Mr. Leon. I'll make sure it reaches him. I got an Eldrite and 1 letter from Balthazar. That's fine. I'm doing soft voices now. Also, time to, once again, check the guide. Who's up? Primrose and Alphen. I'm just going to get them in my party first before anything can possibly go wrong. Oh, no.
Mr. Leon.
They really don't want you changing party members, do they? Well, hopefully it's after this conversation and not before it. Or else I'm going to have to reload my save. I believe it has an autosave that'd be right after the boss is defeated.
Huh?
Oh, there's no mistaking it. This is the Eldrite. Oh, and I'll hydrate as well. There, thank you. I actually only had what was left over from yesterday here, so That's the water done for. Next time someone redeems it, I'll have to go get some more. Lovely day-old, moderately room temperature water. Fortunately, it's cooled down a bit here recently, because it was quite hot the past few days, but it's rained quite a bit since then.
Mm-hmm.
A letter?
Did you ever find what's most precious to you?
Alright, so it's gotta be his friendship with Balthazar, right? The real treasure was the friends we made along the way? Is that going to be the ending here?
Balthazar.
Yes? Is it the friends we made along the way?
Leon, what's more precious to you than anything in the world?
Most precious? All my treasures are precious.
I didn't mean gold or gems, Leon.
Then what did you mean?
Do ye have something so dear to your heart that ye'd risk life and limb for it? When we were lads in that poor town, we thought having riches was all there was to life. But I've been wondering lately if that's the life worth living. And then I wonder what life is worth living. I use me strength to steal from the weak. Just like ye, Leon. And it took years of looting to realize that none of it meant anything to me. No. Not everything that glitters is gold.
Only shooting stars. Something else about molds. I don't actually know the lyrics to that song.
After the final race with Balthazar, I couldn't stop thinking about his last words. If I win, ye hand over your most precious treasure. But what was my most precious treasure? In the coming days, I kept asking myself the same question. But I never came to an answer. Until one day, I realized I'd obtained nothing. Just like Balthazar.
What is it? I have obtained a loss? What is that from? I have obtained loss. Oh, that's a quote from something.
I no longer had a reason to continue as a pirate. I lowered my flag.
Might as well be playing this music.
Myself to repairing Balthazar's ship.
Yeah, pretty much.
I decided to pursue the dream of my friend in his stead. And so, I became the captain of a merchant ship.
Huh.
I want you to keep that stone, lass.
Really?
And this is what we go sell
But
at
it
the,
belonged to your friend.
Did I watch any anime recently? I've finally started Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm up to episode 3, I think. Other than
This
that...
letter is all I need.
And I've been watching Hero Aka as well. But I'm an episode behind right now. And as I understand it, they're taking a 1-week break as well.
That stone holds no meaning to me.
Are you sure?
Everyone has something precious to them. Whether it be land, riches, honor, or what have you, there is an abundance of treasure in this world. But there is only space in one's heart for a single, truly precious treasure. And I found mine. Balthazar's ship.
Oh. Drat. It's not friendship. It's his boat.
It gave me another chance at life.
Mr.
And I
Leon?
suppose in essence it's similar. I really thought it was just going to be straight up friendship. How disappointing. I mean, probably
What is yours,
farewell for a little
precious treasure?
while. I assume he'll pop up back again in the climax of her story arc.
It's... I don't know yet. But I know I'll find it someday.
Is it the
Aye,
friends she makes along the
With
way?
those keen eyes, I have no doubt you will. But be prepared. Your life will never be the same after. Farewell, lass.
Bon voyage! Toodaloo!
My most precious treasure. I saw Mr. Leon again. He taught me that there is only one true treasure in a person's life.
Now, you know French, right, Aaron? That's how you pronounce it correctly, right?
I haven't found that treasure in my life yet. But I'll keep searching until I do. It's just a matter of time now. With the Eldrite in hand, I'm ready for the auction.
Oh.
Watch
Well.
out, Merchant's Fair! Here I come!
Alright. Looks like that is actually the proper end of the storyline. How irritating, actually. Oh, a sinister figure. Yep. Alright, I'm just going to run back to the tavern and switch. Oh! Wait, where is the autosave? Because if it's just there, then that is absurd. You'd have to have the exact... Oh no, I suppose you could teleport to another town. I just didn't think of it. That's unfortunate. We missed a bit of travel banter. Who was it that we missed? Yes, Primrose and Alphen. Oh well. Yeah, saving's probably a good idea. Even though I'm fairly certain it did just autosave. Alright, back up to save slot number 1. Alright. Whose quest is it now? Alright. Onyx is level 38, you're level 40. Sirius is also 40. Oh, I think it might be Therian. I could just do Honnet to, save my voice. Stop myself from hurting myself. Trying to do Therian's voice. Oh. How much is left? I don't actually know how many chapters there are for each character. If I had to guess, I'd assume 4 to 5? And then 4? Okay. And then there's probably some culmination where they all do one adventure where they all have to travel together. Alright, I'm gonna do Tale for another day right now, because I would like to switch back to my optimum party before I start this quest line. Actually, I should probably, rather than switch to optimum party, switch to the party that has the best dialogue possibilities. So, Ophelia, Tharion, and Cirrus are 1, 2, and 4. Got it. Ophelia, Tharion, and Cirrus. Alright. And I can just maintain that. Well met, traveler. Alright, continuing with Honnet. The story so far. Following her master's trail, Honnet made the long journey to Stoneguard. There, she talked to Natalia, who had been friends with Xanta. Following Natalia's clues, Honnet found her master in the forest. Except he had been petrified by the beast called Red Eye. Honnet, forgivest this old man for not keeping his promise. The last words he wrote before the curse stilled his hand. In the same note, he told Honnet to find a woman called Susanna. She is a seer, he wrote, and perhaps she can help. And thus does Honnet arrive in the frozen village of Still Snow. Oh. In that case, I suppose I could do Tharion's story. By the spirits, the snow fallen deep here. If I can quit stories midway through, that is. Or I can just reload save. What is it, Lind? 'Tis not like thee to frolic in like a kitten. But then, thou art a snow leopard, art thou not? For thee, arriving in this white wasteland is like a homecoming. Party ain't never seen a snow leopard that big before. It doesn't bite, does it?
Cheerily.
Fear not, young ones, Lind is with me. She is a gentle creature, she doth thee no harm, will doeth thee no harm.
Really?
She's yours? Funny sort of pet, ain't she? Lind is not a pet. She is my companion, my friend. Friends, you say? Just like us, then?
Yup.
Yup. What she said in dialogue. Oh, her fur's so soft.
Whoa.
And warm, too.
So,
Telling me, children, doth a woman by the name of Susanna liveth here? The old lady?
oh yes.
The old witch, you mean? Yeah, we know her. Who doesn't?
Now then.
I see. Where might I find her? See that house with the red roof over yonder? I do now. Thank you for pointing. Yes, I do. That's the old witch's place.
I see.
Thanking thee, children. Bye! Of course, say hello to the witch for us.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Lind.
Oh.
Enjoyest the attention, didst thou not? Best come in with me then, before they return and with more friends. Yes, for a witch, she has fairly good lodgings. Alright. Travel banter. Linda's popular with children, is she? Yes, in our village oft, the younglings oft played with her. Younglings, you say? I like where that's going. Linda seemed to enjoy in the games as well. Nothing warms the heart quite like seeing children smile. Lind is most proud of her fur. She liketh nothing better than to be stroked and groomed. I can see that. Of course, children liken it also, to burying themselves in her thick warm coat. Yes, what is it? Do you think Lind would snap at me if I stroked her? Of course not, wilt thou? Would I ever? Once the children have had their turn, of course. Then by all means. How adorable. What kind of an NPC are you? Good to guide? Nope, not really. Oh, you can't be guided anywhere. Having trouble discerning what plane of existence that one was on. Oh, Peter Strike, that's pretty good. Oh, I remember you had decently good skills, right? No, you don't. Oh, just a little bit mistaken. Also, thanks for your stone. How about you? Good to guide? Oh, pretty good, actually. Oh, this is... No, this is a different old man. Summonable 7 times. Oh. I'll just remember that they're there. Ooh, that's pretty good. In fact, I think that might go on Cirrus right now. See, how difficult is it going to be to guide? Oh, no. He's free to guide. Sorry, spectator. You're being replaced. I know you scored the killing blow on an enemy, but I found an old man who's stronger than you. Alright, how do I get back there? This map's just a whole bunch of fog. There's a road somewhere, right? Ah, there it is. Actually, wait. Any good items here that I can purchase now? Wait, when did I get all that money? Alright. I don't know that that's enough, really. Because accuracy is probably on its main downfall, because her arrow flurry is one of her best moves. It allows me to deal quite a lot of damage to armor, specifically. Wait, is that... Just a second. Serious, put on this hat real quickly. Bishops, yes, that's the one. Oh, is this better? It's better in every way. Alright, Cirrus, you're getting an upgrade. Like you needed any more elemental attack. Alright. Well, other than that... it's probably fine for now. What be happening here? What is this crowd?
Listen up.
What is it? Listen up! But I have journeyed many leagues to have my fortune told by Madame Susanna.
Oi!
Oh, his voice changed. I implore you, pray open the door. I'm not gonna change it though.
A pox on him!
God's teeth, man, get out of my way!
Tja. What the?
You wretch Horson, apologize at once.
Oi!
You won't get no apology out of Alec. He done talk no one.
Honestly,
Hath he lost his tongue?
No.
No, it's just Susanna does the talking for the both of them.
tja.
Ugh.
Oh ho!
Who is that man?
Doubtless.
Susanna's minder. Looks after her and keeps the riffraff from bothering her, as you might have noted.
Truth is,
Name's Alex. She took him off the streets when he was a wee sprite.
aye.
Saved his life, she did, and he's been with her ever since.
Could that mean?
Old women aren't commonly in need of a bodyguard. They are when folk from far and wide come flocking their ave for their future toad. Flame don't sit too well with her, considering how little she cares for company. Surely she doth not refuseth every visitor.
Right?
Bit funny one, ain't it? I see you who can see the future clear as day, but don't tell no one what she knows. Alec turns them all away, and no amount of begging or beseeching makes one split of a difference.
Ah, yes.
Hey, now and then a fool tries to get rough with Alec, but off as not ends up with only a cracked skull for his trouble.
Curses.
Finding her is easy, but talking to her may proveth more difficult. I'm sure that if we just talk with him, we could reach a reasonable conclusion. So what's the plan? Some tells me pretty please isn't gonna work. Truth be told, I do not know. Wonder if the stubborn oaf has any weaknesses. Weaknesses? We all have them after all. Even thou, Therion. Huh? Since when are we talking about me? Aha, so thou dost. If you're gonna be like this, you can forget about my help. Mine apologies. We were discussing the bodyguard. Hard as it may be to believe, I've known my share of big burly types who are spooked by beasts. Beasts, thou sayest? No promises this one's the same, of course, but that's worth a try, wouldn't you say? 'Tis curious advice, but I shall consider in it. Alright, Lind, attack.
Greetings.
I have business with Susanna. But thou sayest nothing, and thou wilt not listen either? Then I have no choice. Oh, lovely. There's a bug on my screen. Get off, you. I mean, I'd assume beasts, right?
Letting us begin in.
I only really have one option.
Letting the hunt begin in.
Okay. The only things I can do is fight with my beasts or nothing. Ooh, I probably should have healed first, huh? Right. Might as well just pull out Honnet or
Letting the
Lind.
hunt begin in. Come in, if thou darest. What next?
Alright. Bone me,
My
Jim.
arrow flying true. Letting the hunt begin in.
I don't feel like I'm
My
in
arrow flying true.
too much danger. Especially since I'm probably going to continue getting extra turns. Oh, And I have a healing beast as well,
What next?
and it restores a sizable chunk of HP.
Holding back nothing. Letting my arrow fly and true.
Yeah, I don't see this being too much of a problem.
Coming, if thou darest.
Especially if he can only deal damage like that. Onid is my main party member after all. I can't imagine that she'd go down that easily.
So
Oh! That was close. I was not paying any attention to my health.
letting the hunt begin. Letting my arrow fly and miss it. Letting the hunt begin. Holding back nothing.
Alright, Buccaneer, this is your last hit. Make it count.
Coming, if thou
It
darest.
didn't really count for much, but I'm not too worried, really.
Coming, if thou darest. Coming, if thou
I can
darest.
probably just press E from here on out, and I'll have no troubles. I can't imagine he has too much more HP left. He's just taking so many extra turns.
Coming, if thou
It's hard
darest.
not to deal damage to this guy, honestly.
Coming, if thou darest. What next?
I should probably use that as well. My boost.
What? Coming. I will not let in the hunt begin.
Oh, uh-oh. Things are getting risky. Just a little bit, though.
Coming.
You're not gonna deal 300 damage to me, right? Although I suppose... He could confuse me.
Letting my arrow fly and true. Holding back nothing.
No, right, he didn't have his armor down. It's a small waste of resources, it's fine.
Coming, if thou darest.
Oh, what else?
Letting
Right.
the hunt beginning.
I was gonna mention this back earlier, but the reason I was late was I forgot I was streaming today, but in addition to that, I started cooking something, like I often do. Just because I just wanted to be doing something, I suppose, at that point in time. So I turned, what, roughly 5 potatoes into French fries, and I ate them all. And I am heavy with spuds right now. Yeah, so if you need to defrost something, and I've reminded you, then, good thing on that.
He's a man grown, but still a boy within.
So he's putting up quite a bit of a
Have him
fight.
that carry the poor fool within. He'll be catching his death of cold lying out in the snow like a log. How dost thou knowest my name? That's what you want to ask, isn't it? I'm a seer, remember? Possessed of the all-seeing eye. Or so they say.
Well, if you can see the future, why didn't you just let us in instead of letting us beat up your bodyguard?
Then thou art an oracle. Truly, thou will be able to help.
Poppycock and nonsense is all it is.
Poppycock?
A hunter from the woodlands who communes with the beasts. Not a common sight in these parts. The only one who might fit that description is that hobbledehoy, Xanta. Him or his prentice, Hannet of the Darkwood. Your age, your snow leopard, your garb. Simple deduction, my dear.
Oh, so she's Sherlock, not Nostradamus.
The trick is to say what you know, and nothing more, and let the gullible fill in the details. That's all Susanna's famous all-seeing eye is, in the end. Well, disappointed to learn I'm just a fraud?
On the contrary, now I know I can trust thee. If thou speakest the truth about this, then surely thou wouldst not speak false of aught else.
Fair befall you, but that Zonta lad raised a clever prentice, and that's the truth.
Why is there no music?
Why don't you tell me why you're
It's
here?
so quiet.
But first, let's go inside, shall we?
Also, if you knew who I was, why didn't you just let us in instead of having us beat up your bodyguard?
It seemeth that would be for the best.
Yeah, instead of future vision.
Oh, well, well. That young master of yours has managed to get himself into a right mess, hasn't he?
Mistress Susanna, canst thou help in him?
Where's the music? It's so silent.
There is one way.
In truth.
Truth? Ah, now that's a word. You said you trusted me, remember?
If there is the slightest chance of lifting that curse, I will trust whomever I need to. Milady?
Gods take my eyes if that fool hasn't raised a strong and brave young woman. I'd scarce believe
She
it if you
hugging
weren't
her?
standing here in front of me.
What is happening?
I learned from his example, the good and the bad.
Is that so? Can't imagine that would work, but the world is full of wonders at that. Isn't that so, my dear?
It is.
But about the curse,
I am prepared for any trial.
there is but one way to turn stone back to living flesh. And that is to slay the beast that wrought the curse.
I had feared as much, but it shall be done.
Stay, child. I'm not finished yet. Did Xanta forget to teach you patience?
Mine apologies.
If you try to fight the beast as you are, you'll only meet the same fate as your master. And what good will you be to him then?
But I must...
What you must do first is find the means to protect yourself from Red Eye's lethal power. Tell me, dear, have you heard of the plant called Herb of Grace?
Never.
What an uncreative name.
Long ago, there was a beast in these parts too, what turned men to stone. Folks here soon learned that Herb of Grace could ward off the magic.
Is that not a common occurrence? Petrification beasts?
I reckon it should be effective against Red Eye as well. Herb of Grace grows in a forest so thick there are few ways in. I'll send a Layak ahead to show you the entrance to the trail. But know that the forest is a perilous place, and home to many frightful beasts. You want to prepare well before you venture in.
I shall. Thank thee, milady.
It is my pleasure, dear. In a strange way, that Xanta boy was like a son to me. A vexing, wayward one, but a son all the same.
Oh, so, I suppose
Being his apprentice, it rather makes you my grandchild
I
now.
was just going to say that. It's sort of like tiers of adoption. Your adopted father's adopted mother is your adopted grandmother.
And what kind of a grandmother would I be if I refused to lend you a helping hand?
Master and I are both in thy debt.
Banter, please.
Most intriguing.
Why? And I thought Herb of Grace was gone from this world. Even botanists believe the plant was long extinct. To think it still grows in these wintry wastes. 'Tis a miracle, or near enough. Yes, this is why a true scholar should not confine himself to his office. Who knows what great discoveries await in far-flung frontiers? It pleaseth me that thou findest joy in this quest. And yet that Susanna woman, what of her? Well, I was just most impressed to encounter one so wise and astute. And her name sounds familiar somehow. Have I read a book by her at some point? I must review my tomes when this journey is over. Wow, what a surprise. Alright. Once again, who's up next for dialogue? After Cirrus, it is Tressa in the dungeon, and then Ulbrich, Primrose, and Alphen out of the dungeon. Alright, Tressa, you get to join in one more adventure, I suppose. Alright. Hello, Tavern Keeper. Tressa will be replacing Ophelia. And Therian needs a job back, I think. These jobs have just gotten messed and muddled all around. It's okay. What secondary job did you own? Apothecary? I think so. Yes, okay. You weren't a very good apothecary, actually. Let's see about learning you some more skills. Yeah, I don't think I save up for that. Let's see, Vivify is good. Empoison, perhaps? Rehabilitate? Alright then, Pyromancer. I wish you a safe travel to the grocery store. Interesting. Active speed boost. Healing non-damaging skill. Last for an additional turn. Alright. Well. +1 SP. Don't really need that. resist ailments. No, none of these are particularly useful. Alright, that's fine, that's fine. Right, yes. Okay. Well then, I'm all set on that front. Off to the chapter dungeon then, I suppose. I don't actually have Ophelia anymore, so I don't have the old man with me.
Time to teach you a lesson.
Spooky.
My turn.
And also, very fast, apparently. How do you like daggers? Right? Seem to be pretty fine with them. Fire. What a surprise, the ice monsters are weak to fire.
Let's do this. Night Ode.
What happened to your magic damage, Tressa? Did it all evaporate?
Letting the hunt begin.
Might as well even out the damage then. Oh, Therian, your axe is terrible.
My turn now.
Oh no. Did everyone just get infinitely weaker upon walking into this area? Alright.
Peacock strut.
Oh. Come on, Therian, you've got this.
What next?
Oh, right.
I will cut him down.
I have to confirm the attack.
Now. Not bad.
Ah.
A passing grade.
Well, at least I'll level up my characters somewhat quickly. This is some very heavily obscuring snow.
This is the beginning of your end.
How would you like to be captured, Mr. Bear? Let's see, are you weak to anything
Try this.
that I can do
What next?
with Therian? Therian, can you be useful for once, please? I feel like you haven't been doing too much right now.
What to do?
I just sort of hoped. Alright.
What is the logical
Tessa, you're up.
course of action?
And a very surprising lightning weakness off of those two. You know, Therian, you actually have a fire spell. Maybe that'll do the trick. Nope. Cool. Yes. A near-death experience, huh? Alright, I have to make sure that you never attack again. Oh no. Tressa, how could you do this to me? Alright. That's fine.
A miracle like no other.
I just need to supercharge his healing. That's fine. Oh, okay. I was sort of expecting you to attack. Alright. Well. At least you learned how to poison things.
Letting the hunt begin.
What to do? Let's do this!
An interesting dilemma. Sacred light to chase the
Okay.
darkness.
It actually has a lot more health left than I thought it would.
I'm ready. Are you?
I appreciate it, really.
Letting my arrow fly and true.
Okay. Not so easy to capture, apparently. I'll try it with a 40%. Ah. Oh, and it died from poison. Wow. That's irritating. It was so close to being capturable. But I only had a 40% chance. That just was difficult to open as well.
Letting us begin.
Alright, Bear, you better be captured this time. Oh, it is weak to axes. That's a bit of a surprise, actually. Axually?
An interesting dilemma.
Alright, just check it.
So much to learn.
It has 5,000 HP and its final
Out of my
weakness is
way.
wind. Alright. I apologize, Therian. You were actually potentially useful in that situation. What a shocker. I was gonna say, you'd best not miss that like you did the last time.
There. Now, what next?
Alright.
Here I go!
Please allow me to capture you now. Thank you. I'm running very short on beasts, and I need something strong. Grim whiteness as far as the eye can seeth. Once again, good music in this portion of the game. Winter music. 'Tis colder here too. A wind cutteth to the bone.
Come on.
This way.
Now then.
A trail.
Mm-hmm.
Secret path only the mistress knows. Leads straight to the heart of the forest. Out here, snow never melts, covers landmarks, and makes every direction look much like the other. The herb of grace grows somewhere deep in the forest. But be wary, many dangerous fiends lurk within. That is why Susanna keeps the knowledge of this path a secret. Thou dost spoken, and as well as any man.
Huh.
Only when I have something to say.
Thanks be to thee.
Wilt that more people in this world follow with the same principle? Go carefully. I have not seen Susanna look so happy for many a year. Pray return safely, so that you might bring her more joy.
Thou hast my thanks.
I shall. I owe her that much, and more. I will prevail. I just want to add more dialect to her voice lines. Like, it feels like if she said prevailing, that would be pretty well suited. I don't know.
Whoa!
Wow, would you look at all that? Snow and ice as far as the eye can see. It's beautiful, don't you think? Oh, don't ya? It is indeed. I have roamed far and wide on the hunt, but never beheld a place such as this. The snow's like a silk wedding gown, but even softer and whiter, and more beautiful. A silk gown? Tell me, Tressa, couldst thou place a price on this scene? Course not, silly. As much as I'd like to take it home with me, a sight like this can't be bought. There's not even enough room in anyone's bag for a treasure like this. Indeed, I dare say thou art right. Haha, art. As in... you know. How you would be able to capture a scene like this and sell it. Lots of money, thank you. Oh, I suppose I did get all of that unexpected money from defeating the boss. But it was quite a lot, and I
My turn now.
felt like it was almost a bit much, honestly.
The winds of fortune are howling.
Letting my arrow fly and true.
Oh, you don't have much mana, do you, Honnet? No matter. You'll just have to hit things like normal, I suppose.
An interesting dilemma.
Lightning, perhaps? It's never lightning. My Pokemon logic constantly leads me astray in these battles.
The winds of fortune are howling.
An interesting dilemma. Oh, flames, rage strong.
My turn.
24k is nothing to sneeze at.
Letting the hunt beginning. Yeah!
Single target wind attack? Sorry, friend, I'm afraid you're just not worth it. There we go. And apparently not so easily killed as I would have expected.
My turn.
What next?
Alright. Just die quickly, please.
An interesting
How are you
dilemma.
still alive?
Oh, flames, rage
There we go.
strong. Thus ends your lesson.
I suppose I once again forgot to actually look at health totals. Or not health totals, but health color. Got a big olive. Hooray.
Step right up.
Oh, I bet you guys are weak to fire, huh? I'll just test that first one on the mushroom.
Over here.
Here I go.
Just had to bend over to scratch my leg. Spontaneously, just mildly itchy. Oh, I never actually,
Peacock strut.
what is it? Made a going live tweet. Do I do that now? Or just pause midstream and compose a tweet?
A great inferno to scorch the land.
Oh. I didn't even know it was legal for plants to not be affected by fire spells. Alright. Maybe in some strange twist of irony, you're weak to ice? Oh, but the mushroom was. What a guess. Alright, Tharian. Axes? Are you weak to axes?
What next?
Alright then.
I will cut him down.
Let's do this.
Oh, right. Tharian's the apothecary. I thought that was Tressa. My mistake. Maybe it's darkness that they're weak to. That certainly could have gone better.
Now, what next?
Oh, you're immune to that, are you?
My focus is unparalleled. A great
Well,
inferno to scorch
we'll find
the
out what their other weakness is once we run into them again.
land. A passing grave.
Tharian, get up. Combat's over. Here, have an olive. You're not yourself when you're dead. Alright. Just short pause in the action. I'm not going to switch away or anything. I'm just composing a tweet. Because I just forgot. Oh, almost had a bit of a typo there. A fun little red circle. That means live, or recording rather. Although I don't actually record anything. Twitch records it for me. TCH.TV. Tweet all. Alright, back to work. But I simply have to collect all of the chests. Ooh, I wonder if that means that this upcoming enemy will be weak to, shadow.
Standest thou against me?
I suppose that's something I'll have to inspect. Oh, it's wind! I couldn't have guessed. Oh, you're not useful right now, Cirrus. I mean, you still do unfathomable amounts of damage. But you aren't going to be breaking any armor, I'm afraid. Please stop bullying, Tharian. You can only take so much.
The winds of fortune are howling.
What next?
Out of my way.
Try this.
Come in, if thou darest.
Oh, the direction that arrow moved in was confounding. Good thing I didn't immediately jump the gun and attack the wrong thing.
Now,
I'll just throw a fun little fireball at them all.
all flames rage strong. Thus ends your
Yes, I didn't think I'd need anything stronger than that, really. Oh, what is that? Oh, yes, also. Let's give you... I guess that's the only good thing I have, a piercing dagger. For you... Bear cleaver? Yes, bear cleaver. 100%. League's better than rock cleaver at the very least.
Your end.
Oh, I sure wish you all shared common weaknesses. You make this so difficult for me.
What to do? The winds of fortune are howling.
What is the logical course of action?
Oh. I didn't actually get too much sleep last night. Oh. Alright, 25% chance. Good job on it. I knew I could count on you. And now... it's time to bring out the big guns, Therian. Yeah, it's big enough.
The logical course of action.
Oh, but you don't have much mana either. You and Haunted are both pretty mana deficient. Hello, Alistair. Welcome, welcome.
Not bad.
I hope you're doing well.
Passing grade.
I'm just about to reach the boss. Maybe? I don't know. This looks like a boss arena to me. What with the save spot directly in front of it, and the strange golden grass. It's just a hunch. Alright. Let's get everyone fully healed as well. I believe you've come to a few of these streams before, Alistair. So far I've turned Cirrus into what could be fairly easily confused for a god in human flesh.
The herb of grace. This is all I need.
Uh-oh. A stray... oh, that's just a dragon.
A dragon? This place is a dragon's lair? I have heard the legends, and Master's tales too. But to see one in the flesh...
That's quite an upgrade from, all of the other bosses I've faced so far. Well, good thing Pyromancer had to go out to buy food, because this is a...
I scare some...
this is a bit of a spoiler of a boss, if I had to say so.
It has.
Nope.
Yes.
Perfect time for a
Did I ever
flashback.
tell thee about the time I went dragon hunting in the Cliftlands?
4 times now, and the tale getteth longer with each telling.
Is that so?
Oh my... Young Hornet's voice is incredible.
I remember more of the thrilling details, eh?
Master, this world is not big enough for all the giant beasts thou hast huntedest.
Is that the voice actor just doing a young voice? I think it might be. He's doing a very good job.
Not. And yet I really, really did.
Oh my goodness.
What in the... Stop in this!
Why? Do I smell so foul?
'Tis not thy smell.
Oh, art thou blushing? Do I embarrass the... Ah!
Don't ben a fool.
If thou insistest, but listen, my girl. Hunters fighteth many kinds of beasts, some so wondrous and astounding thou canst scarce imagine them. When thou art older, thou too will have tales that no one will believeth, but thou must still keeps them.
Man, I wonder if this is going to,
Some will maketh thee snorten with laughter whenever thou recallst them.
wonder if this fight is going to follow Dark Souls logic and have the dragon be incredibly weak to lightning.
What is it, Master?
Even when thy tale is so improbable and fantastic that not one man thinketh it the truth, thou canst tell it to me, and I will believe every word.
Thou shalt hear in this tale, Master, over and again, until thou beggest me to stop, just as thou didst to me.
Alright.
If thou art ready, then so am I.
Yeah, that's just a pure dragon.
Let in my arrow
Good thing I
fly
actually learned
true.
one of its proper weaknesses, though. Or its unhindered weaknesses? I don't know how to call it. Has an amusingly low amount of armor. Alright,
Out of my way.
let's just get through it then.
What to do?
Huh. Alright, what'll that one be? Darkness, maybe?
Darkness!
No.
Now, what next?
Light?
Sacred light to
Ooh.
chase the darkness.
That's pretty fortunate,
It's my turn now!
because it means I have an incredibly good single target damage dealing ability. Peacock strut, that's right.
Peacock strut!
Wait, did I get you the single target axe? I did not. Well, let's just throw a little bit of poison on this dragon.
Let in my arrow fly and true.
And you just continue to hit it, I suppose. And now... strip away the scales, Cirrus. Ow. That was painful.
Let's do this. Try this.
Yes, indeed.
A miracle like no other.
I also just had the thought that since this is a dragon, and I have a whole bunch of flame-resistant items, I should probably have equipped those. I didn't know it was going to be a dragon, I suppose. And why would you anticipate going against a dragon in this situation?
Do this!
Alright, it's gotta be a bow, right? Oh, that's one of the locked ones. Okay. And probably a sword or a dagger in that case.
Sacred light to chase the darkness.
My turn.
What to do?
A dragon is weak to swords. I really want that final weakness to be lightning. Just for the Dark Souls parallels.
For you.
Come in, if thou darest.
I suppose I can check right now.
Done my
Ah, so unfortunate.
An interesting dialogue. Now the true lesson begins.
There's unfortunately not really any reason for me to find out what the final one is. If I had to guess at it, probably wind. But Tress is going to be focused on donating BP and buffing magic, so... no real chance to check, I'm afraid.
Suffer.
Here I go.
Do you not have a real sword, Theron? Alright, I will keep you on axes, duly noted.
Peacock strut.
Let in
I
my
gotta keep
arrow
that
fly
magic
true.
buff topped off. Do I have any single target beasts, or are they all AoEs? What a surprise.
Come in.
Nope,
if
okay.
thou-
Just hit him again. On it, you're fine. My goodness, that dragon fire is ridiculous.
I won't hold back. Huh?
Try this. What is the logical course of action?
Alright, alright. You know what? I think it's actually to analyze. Because on it'll go next.
So much to learn.
41k left, and its weakness is ice. Okay. That's not particularly useful to know. I suppose Cirrus can use ice. So yes, that is useful to know, actually. He can deal quite a lot more damage now than he could before.
Letting the hunt begin it. Coming.
Suffer.
Suppose I'll continue poisoning with him.
What is the
Good,
logical
good
course of
follow-up,
action?
good follow-up. Because I actually just need to use healing with him.
Miracle like no other.
Let's do
Bit
this.
risky that they're not at perfect full health. But it's all I can unfortunately manage right now.
For you.
No, I need to start spreading out BP
My turn.
so that we can efficiently break armor again. Apothecary, just keep that poison up.
It's my turn now.
Just need to be causing constant damage.
For you.
Now the true lesson begins.
Alright. Big Blizzard
Tempest of ice shall rage.
for 8k damage.
Letting the hunt begin it.
What an encounter. Well, I suppose just a plain attack off of you is all I can really manage. Are you gonna do that twice? Alright, that's interesting.
Logical course of action.
I've just lost Tressa. I suppose, fortunately, she isn't one of the key components to armor stripping, but definitely not a good thing.
A tempest of ice shall rage.
Come in, if thou darest.
I wonder how long she's gone for. Until I break the armor again? A certain number of turns? Unclear. I suppose we will have to find out.
Rain and arrows up on them.
That was good. Hit every single one of those.
Let's do this. Try this.
Alright, armor has been broken. And it's getting up right away. Okay.
You will atone for your sins.
I'm actually going to use a fun little ability. Because this thing does so love its AoE attacks. So Therian is going to be completely protected from all elemental damage. And now... we will apply more poison.
Suffer.
Letting the hunt begin.
Ah, I don't have a healing beast right now. I was counting on having a healing beast. I forgot I didn't have one. Alright, great bunch.
Using this. Letting my arrow fly and true.
Oh, that's nice.
Holding back nothing.
Do I have any... no, right. I've already established I don't have any single target beasts. Just True Strike it, I suppose. Any bonus damage helps. Those aren't AoE attacks. Dragon, I trusted you.
What next?
Oh, looks like she's going to be coming back at the end of next turn.
A tempest of ice shall rage.
Tressa, that is.
Holding back nothing.
Out of my way.
Ah. Oh, you chose the wrong time to come back.
Sorry.
Wahaha! Indeed. Is there a olive bunch that I can use?
Out of my way.
Alright, well, I need Cirrus up, and I need him to survive as well.
My friends.
Okay,
I am sorry.
that's unfortunate. Okay, well, all of the weaknesses are known at this point. Let's do a little bit of last-minute preparation. We gotta get those plums back in everyone. Okay. So, equipment. Don't need this. What I need... Inferno Amulet. Okay, back to town. How do I... Right, world map. Okay, I need to, get all of the equipment off of my old party members. Or not old, but, benched party members. Right. Hello, Pyromancer. I just fought and lost to this boss, which uses very powerful fire attacks. Just take it off of him already. Remove Inferno Amulets. Unequip everything. Yeah, so, I'm about to go back into it, so if you don't want to get spoiled on what it is, I, suggest you stop hearing things for a couple of minutes. Alright, greatly reduce... Oh. Tried to deafen that sneeze as much as possible. But also now it's making my sinuses feel weird. Alright. Okay, yes, you definitely don't need those, so you can gain the benefits of Fire Amulet and protection. Alright, and good elemental defense is also going to be pretty useful. Alright. Guess I'll go to the shop and see if they have any good elemental defense shields there as well. Oh, they just have an elemental shield, okay. I'll get 2 of them then. Alright, those 2 didn't need invasion anyways. Well, back to the boss then. Oh, I never actually noticed the sound design crossing those bridges.
Out of my way.
I'd really prefer not to get in any combat until I reach the boss.
Now, what next?
Let's do this!
Letting the hunt begin.
Now, what next?
This bear. Oh, this bear doesn't want to attack, apparently. I mean, I'm fine. I'll just kill you nonetheless.
What next?
No mercy and whatnot.
Wow.
Wow.
I shall pierce him through. I honor thee, my quarry.
I already caught myself a bear, so I don't really need another one. Especially since it's an AoE attack, and I don't really need that right now. Oh my goodness. Just shoot. Shoo, stop bothering me.
Nothing will quiet the storm.
you just keep gathering strength. Do something useful, please. Yeah, oh, okay, wrong target. That's fine.
It's my turn now.
This bear won't know what hit it. Unless it understands the concept of an axe. Just keep hitting it.
An interesting. All like you, smite them down.
What to do?
Alright, I can't imagine it's going to take more than another round of attacks. His name was Red, for goodness sake. Alright, let's just spearhead it just in case.
Thou didst fight with courage.
Another untouched victory. I suppose I'll get another level for a lot of party members just by encountering enemies. Did you then? Because that potentially could have saved my first attempt on the boss. I see, I see. Yep. That probably would have been able to save me. I only used a medium. Which overheals to 2,000. Because I'm also thinking on that front, because I'll re-examine it in a second. Because there's a skill... One of these. The warrior's fourth skill has to do with a damage cap that they apparently reach. And I don't have anyone who's a strong enough warrior to be even hitting a damage cap. But the information that you provided also implies the existence of a healing cap.
Come in, if thou darest.
So,
I will
just
cut you
interesting
down.
information, I suppose.
It's my turn now.
Just hit it. That one, specifically.
Out of my way.
Alright, you can hit it too. That's fine. We were just a sideshow until Cirrus arrived anyways.
You should have studied harder.
Yes, well, if it properly sets you to 999, that is probably the cap. Like, I could probably test it fairly easily.
I'll make this
Oh, I'm
quick.
so close.
Let's do this. The winds of fortune are howling. Ah! Ah!
Oh, I'm gonna have to spend so much mana healing everyone up again. You cursed bushes. Yeah. And if that's the maximum health you can get, then you probably won't be able to heal over it either. Oh, right, I actually forgot to do the thing that I said I was going to. Oh well. C'est la vie.
If thou darest.
Oh, that's one fast bush.
Let my arrow fly and true.
Right.
Yeah! I will cut him down.
I just want to get to the save point. Please, stop bothering me.
Try this! What is the logical course of action? Oh, flames! Rage strong!
The fact that these bushes aren't weak to fire is confusing on many levels. Alright. You were the one that had the wind ability, right. Oh, and it does no damage. Please stop hurting them. I don't want to deal with you anymore. Yeah, let's, just hit him again. Bit more wind.
Out of my way.
Yeah, it's not great.
What next?
Alright. Honnet, can you catch one of these? You can. Look, I'll take the skill shoot. That's fine. I don't really care for it, but it exists, I guess. Alright. Actually, I think it'll be a bit more effective to just use grapes to heal. Alright, and then Therian can use first aid as well. And Honnet can eat a plum. I'm almost out of plums. Alright. So, Pyromancer, if you don't want to be spoiled on this boss, this is your last chance. I'm gonna walk forwards now. And also skip this cutscene.
The Herb of Grace. This is all I need.
Because I've already seen it. And this one too. It's a dragon!
Thou shalt hear in this tale, Master. Over and again, until thou... If thou art ready, then so am I.
Oh, sure was a surprise when this thing came along.
What next?
Right, but it is comically weak to a lot of things.
Now, what next?
I suppose... No, I guess I won't unlock its weaknesses just yet. I'll just unveil the ones that already exist.
Let's do this! Peacock strike!
Letting my arrow fly and true.
Okay.
What is the logical course of action?
Out of my way.
Oh, fighting this thing is nerve-wracking. It deals so much damage. It's incredible. Alright. Therian, your job is just to keep this thing poisoned.
Let's do this!
Right, and Tressa, your job is to distribute BP to everyone so that they can get rid of this armor.
For you!
Letting the hunt begin. What next?
Alright, wounded and wary, and dragon fire. Wow, is Cirrus actually just immune to fire damage? He only took 9 damage from dragon breath. That Inferno ring is pretty strong. Right. And that weakness is swords.
Let's do this.
Just uncover it for the sake of it. Alright, Theron's sword is terrible, I forgot. Donate BP? Yes.
I won't hold back.
To Cirrus this time for damage boost.
Letting the hunt begin.
After I use a Honnet to... Oh! Oh, thank goodness.
What is the logical course of action? Now the true lesson begins.
It's more just about figuring out how to unblock them. And the answer is you
Letting the hunt
unblock
begin.
it by hitting this one a lot. And those 2 hidden weaknesses are... Well, bows is one of them, you can see it. But the other one is ice. Right, you should probably heal yourself a little bit, Therian.
What to do?
Okay, I need to start getting BP out into the field. Therian needs it the most. Honnet can always use her rapid fire bow attack. What did I want to... Right, healing.
Your pain shall be eased.
What next? Letting the hunt begin.
I really only need patience when it comes to breaking block.
What next?
Alright, here we go. Alright. I mean, it's bad, but it's not as bad as it could be. Now, you can also contribute to the armor breaking, Tressa. I'm so proud of you.
I'm ready.
Alright, and... Why don't we just do a basic blizzard now?
Shall rage.
Alright, and then he's going to have to heal everyone again. Alright, let's keep that poison up time.
Letting my arrow fly and true.
Let's do this.
Hmm.
Ahoy!
Hello, Kojiro. I'm killing a dragon right now. I hope you're doing well.
For you.
I think just a boosted heal will do. Is this you? Oh, that's bad. That happened to Tressa last time.
What to do?
Which was pretty fine, because Tressa was not an integral part of armor breaking. But Honnet very much is. Ooh, this is looking pretty bad right now. Yes, this is a pretty scrawny little dragon, I suppose.
Here.
What is the logical course of action?
Well, I'm trying to wreck him quite as much as I possibly can. But, he's pretty strong,
What is the logical course
despite
of
his
action?
thin arms. Alright. See, I'm just going to hope that it doesn't target Therian with a physical attack, because otherwise that's going to be useless.
Let's do this.
Because I need you to take as much armor off of this thing as you possibly can, Therian. That was the one thing I didn't want that dragon to do. Alright.
What to do?
Okay. Normal olive to Therian.
An interesting dilemma.
Our Therian's just gonna fall over like a sack of bricks to that dragon. So I should give him some refreshing jam.
How about this?
There's that dragon fire again. Oof. Clawing the one enemy who can't resist that. Alright, but now that Honnet's back, I have an incredibly good chance. Well, I say incredibly good. Better than nothing.
Now, what next?
Alright. I just have to keep hitting it.
A tempest of ice shall rage.
Here I go!
Okay. So I do
Let the
that,
hunt begin it.
and then I can also do this. Which clears that turnip. And now... Grape bunch.
Coming.
Oh, that wasn't quite enough. Therian will die to an attack if he gets hit. Alright. Just keep firing, I suppose, on it.
Now, what next?
Oh, I threw out that grape bunch so that I wouldn't have to use Sirius for a heal.
Now the true lesson.
I'm just gonna follow through on that.
A tempest of ice shall rage.
Oh. This dragon's name is also still white. Okay, now it's yellow. So he's in the middle third of his health bar now, and I am in a constant state of mild panic. Right.
Let me help.
Oh, thank goodness, Therian, you got taken out of danger's way. Okay, well then.
A tempest of ice shall rage.
Poor guy was the closest to dying out of everything. Just shot him clear out of danger's way. a medium grape on it.
Letting the hunt begin.
Okay. Time for the biggest gamble in existence, I suppose. I need it to hit all 8 times.
Raining arrows up on them.
Alright. Not perfect. Alright, Tressa, are you ready to fall down? Oh!
If thou darest.
That was fortunate. I mean, both fortunate and unfortunate. That attack does substantially less damage than his fire breath. But also it targeted, you know, Tressa. So, and not optimal in that sense.
Tempest of ice shall rage.
Alright, Kojiro. Understood. Alright. Let's see, Peacock Strut for Cirrus.
Peacock strut.
And
And then he can launch God-killing Ice Ball.
now the true lesson begins.
Come on, turn his name red, if you wouldn't mind.
Letting my arrow fly and true. Yeah, coming. Aiming carefully, shooting true.
Alright, what color is his name? Still yellow, my goodness. Oh, well, good luck on those gajillion things then. Mild little hiccup there. Let's see, what happens if I just rest as hard as I possibly can?
Break.
Not much is the answer.
An interesting
Oh, poor Therian came back just to die. Alright. Amusingly, Cirrus, you aren't very useful for stripping armor, so you are currently on olive distribution duty.
Let's do this.
Oh, you have no bonus attacks, do you? In that case, just hit once.
Coming, if thou darest.
Alright. Well, here's to hoping. Oh! Oh, it's 3 hits is fine. 3 hits is...
Coming,
Okay.
if thou darest.
This is what I was hoping. Oh! Broke its attack one turn too early.
If thou darest.
If I had broken it during this turn, I would have had 2 turns free of attacks. You were too efficient on it. Alright. It's blind for 7 turns. Wow, that's quite something. Alright. You should feed yourself a plum,
This will help us.
just in case. Alright, and I'm going to use Cirrus for a big heal as well. Can I do anything here? No, I don't think so. Apothecary. Oh, I guess you can continue to throw out poison then, Therian. I forgot that was his main purpose. Alright. No, just a normal heal more should be fine.
like no other.
Yes, yes.
Here I go. Peacock strut.
Alright, Cirrus.
I will not be thy prey.
Oh my goodness. If that dragon just used Dragon Breath 2 times in a row, it would take out my entire team. No questions asked.
It's my turn now.
Alright.
The hunt's beginning.
Again, minor gamble, but Rain of Arrows. Alright, that was around what I expected to happen.
An interesting dilemma.
Okay, I'm just going to take this opportunity to check how much health it has. Or else I'm gonna go insane.
So much to learn.
16k. Alright, it must be incredibly close to red at this point then.
Try this.
Letting my arrow fly and true. Coming.
Do I have any beasts to use here? Oh. Oh. I'm not gonna give it a full charge, but might as well see what this Wanderweed does. 47 damage, wow! What a useful little weed! Right. Let's donate some BP to Therian.
For you.
He's going to need it.
Coming, if thou darest. Holding back nothing.
Alright. Full charge True Strike is definitely going to be a bit more helpful. Alright. Poison again, please. Reapply poison frequently.
What is the logical course of action? My focus is unparalleled.
Alright. Oh! Whoops. I forgot to heal everyone. That's fine. That's totally fine. Theron, you're gonna fall over dead in a second. My apologies.
Let me help.
Alright, there's a, like, 2% chance that he doesn't. Oh, wait. Or a 25% chance that I get to feed him a grape. That's a strong claw, huh?
My turn.
Okay, that doesn't sound good.
I'm ready. Are you?
Alright, Kojiro. Yes, I did get that recipe, and I have looked into it. Unless you're going to send me something else. Alright. I should be able to break its armor. Okay, good. Got it, then. No worries. I'll get on that. I already have most of the ingredients. Just a couple of things left to pick up.
A tempest of ice shall rage.
Its health is red. I'm so close to killing it.
What to do?
What to do is actually to hold off a little bit.
Peacock strike.
No, not yet, not yet. I suppose you can abide. Because Therian is going to break this armor. I hope. Oh no, if he misses this, I'm in a lot of danger. Oh.
What to do?
I had no follow-up plan if that missed. Alright, let's see. Merchant skills. Send 2 BP on its way. so that she can launch a nuclear arrow at this dragon.
Yeah! Holding back nothing.
True strike. Let's go. Ooh. Oh, how fitting that Honnet was the one to deal the final blow. Oh. That was close.
Is it so?
Is it done? Have I slain a dragon? Now I can just pick this grass. This normal looking grass. Now, to leave the forest and... Time to fight a second boss in a row!
Come in, Linda.
It's alright, Lind. Linda? I'm gonna keep saying Lind. The monsters are gathering here. A dragon that ruled this forest hath been slain.
Not yet.
They will not attack us, not for a while yet. Come in, Lind. Susanna will been awaiting word from us. Now that I have the herb, I can finally face Red Eye. And save Master from that dreadful curse.
Found the herb, did you?
Thou waited for me? Susanna only asked thee to show us the way in.
I have my own mind. A man can tarry where he likes, can't he?
Of course he can.
I think she just shook her head like, no, you can't tarry where I... My goodness.
Anyway, I'm done tarrying. Suppose I'll go on ahead.
I most appreciate your concern.
Nervous laughter.
Well, I just...
How adorable.
What a strange man.
Alright, travel banter time. Let's look at the guide. Who's up now? Primrose and Alphen. Oh, Ulrich, Primrose, and Alphen. Alright then. Bye-bye. So, the exact party members I don't have. That's amusing. Oh, right, the travel banter starts immediately. Oh, so a dragon! As a boy, I heard many a tale of dragons and the valiant knights who vanquished them. And yet I thought the age of dragons was long past. Never did I imagine I would set eyes upon such a beast. Master saith he hunted a dragon, if only the once. Now that is a tale I would very much like to hear. If that is thy wish, but knowest thou that Master stories grow more unfanciful with every telling? He suddenly recalleth that the dragon can speak, or weaveth dreadful magic, or burneth a company of knights with one breath, or smasheth a castle wall with one fell blow. Yet still he doth bear in scars on his back from the dragon's claws. They at least are untrue, if little else of his tale is. I see. Then you and he have accomplished the same mighty deed. Yes, though he hath many faults, I cannot deny he is a great hunter. But now, it is as if I have stepped out of his long shadow, to stand alone in the sun. You have lofty goals, but I can see that. But you are one step closer to them now. And travel banter the second. How charming. What art thou snickering about, Primrose? That Aliac fellow, he surely fancies you. What? Thou speaketh nonsense. He treateth me as Susanna bade him, as a guest of her home. Oh, trust me, I know men. The way he acted towards you, it wasn't anything like the way he acted towards the rest of us. But... Oh, bless, look at you blush. Tell me, Honnet, what do you like in a man? Someone stronger than me. Well, good luck with that. You might be searching for a long time. Alright. Right-ho. And now, one final dialogue with Susanna, I believe her name was.
Oh?
There we go. Oh, there she is. Found the herb of grace, did you, child?
I'll do what I can.
Here, give it to me. It needs to brew for a spell before it'll work right.
Thou hast my thanks.
Thanketh thee.
And then?
So, how did it feel to slay your first dragon? Thou knewest it was there? Listen, dear, if you couldn't slay that dragon, you wouldn't have a sinner's hope and a blizzard of surviving an encounter with Red Eye. So I sent you to your death on purpose. Thou art a woman of... to coateth her words in sugar, art thou? Not a woman. To coateth her words in sugar. Never seen much point in it, my dear. Now, why don't you tell me about that dragon while we wait for the herb to brew? As thou wishest.
Indeed.
Well, I never. So, tell me, dear, how does it feel to tell the tale?
Well,
I was never one much for talking. It was Master who taught me to weave stories. Oh, that lad was a tongue-tied fool in his use, as well as this and that. He could scarcely put two words together. Surely he was not that bad.
Indeed.
Oh, trust me, dearie. What grain of eloquence he now possesses was drummed into him by yours truly. I'd think twice before you tell him your tale. He might be jealous to hear you speak so beautifully.
well, well.
'Tis true he doth not enjoy being shown up in anything. Oh, here you go. This should do the trick. You be sure to quaff it down in one gulp the moment Red Eye's foul curse strikes you.
Thou hast my thanks.
Thanking thee.
Oh dear.
Too soon for that. You can thank me once Xanta's back to his old self again.
Understood.
Very well. I unlocked Herbal Grace 10. Time for one last travel banter.
Shucks.
Well, shucks. What is it, Alphen?
Oh, nothing. Just admiring the compound on this potion. Old lady knows how to brew 'em, that's for sure.
How dost thou judge in medicine to be good or bad?
Oh, that's easy. It's right here.
Why art thou poking me in the chest?
'Cause I'm making a point. Answer's in here. Get it? Good medicine has heart and soul. Heart and soul, the one that made it. And that old lady has oodles of both.
I see. Thou couldst have just said that without the poking. Oh, you Alphen. What a prodder.
You are Honnet?
You are Travis Willingham?
And thou one of the Knights Ardent.
At your service.
I bear word from Lady Eliza.
No,
It's
not
about
Travis.
fiend Red-Eye.
Maybe? Which voice actor is that? Blah, 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 blah. Which one is it? Which voice actor? I swore I should know it. Oh well. I won't get anywhere just by sitting here.
Found it?
Yes, near the desert city of Marceline. She awaits you there.
Well, that is definitely a fairly high-profile voice actor, if I'm not mistaken.
Then that is where I will go. Thank thee.
If you will excuse me, milady.
Taking your leave so soon?
Yes, it is time. I apologize for any burden I may have caused thee.
My pleasure, dear. There's always room under this roof for my favorite granddaughter. The burden of family is no burden at all.
Thank thee. Looking after her, Alaic.
Well, yeah, no problem.
You don't have to tell me. That is my duty, and it will be done.
Indeed.
Hannah, dear, for all your cleverness, you are as naive as a babe in the woods. You are a pretty girl, if not the beauty I was in my younger days.
Of course, Granny.
But I will hold you up with my prattle no longer. Go in safety, my dear.
Thank thee. When the hunt is done, I shall return, and Master with me.
And so does Honnet leave still snow behind her. Her quest has now become a hunt. To save her master, she must slay the beast they call Red-Eye. With this knowledge, she strides towards her next destination, the city of Marceline, surrounded by the sand of the Sunlands. Alright. And that's that. And save the game right quick. Alright. And I don't really want to dive into the next chapter of the story. Yes, I was actually just going to take a look at something. What was it? Yes. So far, all of the story has taken part in this portion of the world. And I believe this is nothing here. It's only these darker portions of map that seem to be fillable in, because this is a light portion of map here, and there's clearly no way to reach it. And this darkened portion has Honnet's Chapter 4 in it, which means that this light portion is probably unexplorable. So there's a whole bunch of story up here. And that can't all be Chapter 4s, right? How many Chapter 4s do I have? I can't see what chapter that is. The border's in the way. Oh, I suppose if I zoom in. Yeah, that's her Chapter 4. That's Chapter 3 at Chapter 3. Well, some of them could be up there, I suppose. I'm still generally fairly unfamiliar with the game, I suppose. I don't know what's going to happen at all. But that is it from me. It is time to see if there's anyone to raid. Oh, time to find someone to go visit. Raid channel button, there you are. Oh, you know what? Tilda just started streaming seconds ago. So let's go visit her. Alright. In that case, let me just get up my standard raid message. ID. That's bang, not slash. There we go. Anyone who's still around, feel free to copy the relevant message. And I'll give you a couple of seconds to get that done, and we will be heading out shortly. So, I hope you enjoyed your time here, but that is going to be it from me. Thank you all so much, and au revoir. Oh, I forgot to transition.